Well, a little bit of patchy fog here first thing this morning, so kind of keep that in mind. But other than that, I think we're going to be okay here on that ride to work and school. Mainly dry due to the fog, maybe just a little bit of mist in a few spots. Right now, we're talking about some thunderstorms that are going to be rumbling through here during the late afternoon, evening hours. So a nice break from the steady rain through much of the day. In fact, maybe even a few hints of sunshine, especially midday. But then watch as this stronger line of storms swings through central Pennsylvania during the late afternoon and evening hours, some of which could contain the heavy downpours leading to flash flooding, strong gusty winds as well. So weather watch day here at CBS 21 for stronger thunderstorms later on today. Muggy too. Look for a high temperature all the way up to 80.
Well, good morning and a happy Wednesday to you. Checking in with our viewing area this morning where we're off to a pretty nice start. No major accidents, delays, anything like that you should worry about. If you're heading out the door, you can see lots of green on our screen here this morning. A much different picture that we're painting than we saw yesterday. 283 heading up towards the Eisenhower Exchange. A little bit of slow go there, but check out 83 in our live picture moving across the Susquehanna right now. Looking very, very good. Way better than yesterday morning, that's for sure. No issues on our other bridges crossing over the Susquehanna or our river routes. Let's look at your members' first traffic alert.
Friends and family will gather today to pay tribute to a well-known sprint car driver.
49-year-old Greg Hodnett died last week when he crashed his car into the wall during a race.
CBS 21's Michael Gorsinger is live in Seven Valleys, where those closest to him say they want him remembered for his accomplishments on and off the track. Good morning, Michael.
Yeah, good morning, Sherry. Despite the fact that Greg Hodnett was known really throughout the country for his prowess on the track as a sprint car racer, everyone says how humble he was. Today, his legacy will be remembered here at Grace Fellowship Church during a service. It was a life that unfortunately was cut too short, but one that ended doing what he loved to do most, racing cars.
I just wanted to honor him. You know, I feel like he's worth it.
Sherry Hodnett remembering her soulmate, her husband, the number 27 World of Outlaws driver Greg Hodnett. Hodnett was killed last Thursday night when he lost control of his sprint car going into turn 1 at Baps Motor Speedway in York County. The impact so great, the 49-year-old was killed. On the race team's website, she describes his death as having her heart ripped from her chest. As she walked around his garage full of trophies and plaques, she remembers the man she loves so much. Despite the large hole left in her heart, she says the outpouring from friends and family and complete strangers has been immense.
Greg didn't feel like that many people knew him or that he was that important. He was just so humble.
Greg Hodnett leaves behind his wife, Sherry, 3 stepchildren as well as 5 grandchildren. She says they really were the light of his life. Now, the funeral service is set for 10:30 this morning again here at Grace Fellowship Church. That's in Seven Valleys, York County. It is open to the public. All are welcome. Live in York County, Michael Gorsinger, CBS 21 News.
Thank you, Michael. Also happening today, Parkland school shooting suspect Nicholas Cruz will be back in court for a status hearing on his death penalty case. Officials say a number of issues could come up in today's hearing, including the release of evidence and witness interviews. 19-year-old Cruz is charged with killing 17 people and injuring 17 others in the February 14th mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. His lawyers say he would plead guilty in exchange for life in prison, but prosecutors rejected that.
We are learning more this morning about what to expect in tomorrow morning's hearing with Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and the woman accusing him of sexual assault. The all-male Republican side of the committee has brought in outside counsel to question Christine Blasey Ford on their behalf. The chairman of the committee, Republican Senator Chuck Grassley, says his goal is to depoliticize the process and avoid a circus atmosphere. Democrats will ask their own questions.
The witness should not be uncomfortable, and by having one person do that on our side, I think that'd be a good thing.
I don't think we ought to be ducking and dodging our responsibility just because the issues are sensitive.
Ford claims Kavanaugh held her down and groped her in high school. A second woman has also come forward with accusations. Bill Cosby is vowing to appeal after being sentenced to 3 to 10 years in state prison.
The comedian was taken to prison without bail yesterday. The judge also ruled Cosby as a sexually violent predator, requiring him to register as a sex offender. Earlier this year, Cosby was found guilty of drugging and sexually assaulting a former Temple University employee in the first trial of the Me Too movement.
More than 60 women have come forward with allegations against the comedian. Hear from some of them coming up on CBS this morning after we are done here at 7.
New developments out of the state capitol this morning as we take a live look right now. A major bill that would help victims of sexual abuse whose statute of limitations has run out is moving on to the Senate.
But as CBS 21's Amanda Hoskins tells us, many have claimed the logistics of the bill are not constitutional here in Pennsylvania.
Inside the Pennsylvania state capitol, talks of the constitutionality surrounding Mark Rossi's bill continue to surmount.
We have constitutional protections for making legislation retroactive.
Those who have been against the bill argue opening a retroactive window for victims to file civil suits in which the statute of limitations has run out is unconstitutional. They say it goes against the remedies clause in the state constitution, which states in part, every man for an injury done him shall have remedy by due course of law and right and justice. We reached out to a local attorney to explain the argument.
Because we are saying that it's a vested right, that to go back and undermine that vested right is what falls within the purview of the remedies clause.
But Marcy Hamilton, a leading expert on child sex abuse statute of limitations, says the remedies clause was originally intended to help victims and the plaintiff. It wasn't written for the defense.
It essentially says that if you have been wronged, you should be capable of going to court and getting that wrong corrected.
When Hamilton spoke to the Senate Judiciary Committee in 2016, the retroactive conversation was immediately shut down. But she says times are different now.
What's changed is this new grand jury report, not because it says anything new about the church, but because people were so surprised. They thought the bishops had fixed the problem. They had trusted the bishops to fix the problem. The problem is just as bad as it was before, but now we have the Larry Nassar victims. Now we have the school victims coming forward.
Amanda Hoskins, CBS 21 News this morning.
Thank you, Amanda. Some parents of students in the Harrisburg School District may want to pack lunches after seeing this story. These pictures, taken last week, show boxes of food sitting outside of Ben Franklin's school. Others show hot dogs that look like they've gone bad. And this all comes after school officials decided to go with a new food service company this year.
I think transition and change is difficult for everybody, and I think that our staff is working through a challenging change right now.
Officials say the food in the boxes was non-perishable, so it has not been thrown out. As for the hot dogs, they haven't been able to confirm that they were taken in a Harrisburg school.
State lawmakers are considering new legislation to allow Harrisburg to exit Act 47. The city must devise a plan to stay afloat financially. The House Finance Committee held a hearing yesterday on a bill that would use revenue from a local service tax and an earned income tax as dedicated funding. Legislators say this will attract private businesses to the city while avoiding an increase in property taxes for Harrisburg residents.
A North Carolina community is heartbroken and hoping for a happy ending. A boy with autism vanishes over the weekend. Who's joining the search to find him?
Plus, loaded guns in cars. One woman is pushing for lawmakers to make it illegal. Why the issue hits home for her. Steve.
Well, some good news. I think we're going to make it off to work and school here this morning, really without dealing with any steady rain at all. But you notice there's still some more off to our west. I'll let you know we could see a few thunderstorms with my first morning forecast.